Yeah, Automech here. Another day, another dollar, baby. Quick little setup here. First of all, running some sweatpants first, and we're running on these 6-inch pallets. When it's setting up stuff, man, I like to do things that are gonna take that's gonna take like little bits of time off of my setup time. Like for example, here you see me putting the pallets on the carousel, and you see how I'm going from the top to the bottom. That's the easiest and quickest way to put your pallets on, and I don't care what pallet it is. And taking it off, you want to do it the opposite way, from top to bottom, right? But here on this day, we are doing this job for Emory Law, and we're running sweatpants. And again, we're on these 6-inch pallets. If the job were 3.5 inches wide, in my opinion, like it should be, we could run it on sleeve pallets. That, to me, that's the best way to run pants or shorts. Okay, but 6-inch pallets are pretty good. They're pretty good. But you know, it just I like the running pants, especially on the sleeve pallets, because you know it is better for the placement. Okay, on the 6-inch pallets, there's more of the pants on the pallet, so you don't have as much room to play with, and you can't really put that print like right there in the corner, so to speak, where your pocket ends, where that pocket seam ends. Okay, but we still make it work. We still make it work, and just setting up right now. Okay, checking my flood bar. Make sure you're always checking your flood bar. Flood bars, sometimes they go up, they go down as you run. So from job to job, go ahead and run your finger underneath your screen, just to feel if you can feel the flood bar. If you can feel the flood bar, make sure you pull it up. All right. Now here I am doing a good one. So sweats. When you're running on sweatpants, sweatshirts, hoodies, the material is much different from your setup shirts, right? Your setup shirts are a little thinner. So before you go ahead and run, like you might be in on your test print, but you might be slightly out on your sweats because the material is a little thicker. All right, so that's why you want to go ahead and do one test print on a live good, all right, and namely this sweatpant, just to make sure that you're in, your pressure's right, you're not pushing down too much ink. Also, if you can see, these 6-inch pallets, they're a lot thicker than your adult pallets, all right? So you may have to adjust your angle, you may have to adjust your angle, you may have to adjust your pressure. Okay, now, you know, if you're really that guy, if you're fly enough, you know, you could go ahead and just drop your off contact. You can do it that way. I typically don't mess with my off contact unless you know. So Carhartts. If you're printing on Carhartts, that's very, very thick material. So you may have to drop your off contact for that. And maybe there will be a run where I get to show you guys how to do that. All right. So here we go, starting the job off, man. Let's get into the run. I'm gonna shut up a little bit and let you guys watch the run. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna shut up. Look how I'm grabbing these, okay? And I'm keeping that thumb right in that pocket and making sure my seam is hanging right off of the pallet. And make sure that seam is off. Make sure it's off all the way. Otherwise, your squeegee will catch it and you'll have an uneven print. Okay? And it'll be a whole mess. Okay? Watch how I'm grabbing it. Right? He's on the left leg. So as I'm grabbing it, I'm kind of twisting it at the hip. All right? Put my thumb right in that pocket, and at the same time, I'm feeling where the edge of that pallet is. Okay? And you want to go ahead and fold that waist all the way up to make sure that your pants are straight. Make sure you have a straight print. All right? So like when you get those pants on the pallet, all right, and your waist isn't folded up all the way, so it can look like your pants are straight, and as soon as you do fold it all the way, you'll see that it's crooked. So make sure your waist isn't folded up. The waist on the sweatpants isn't folded up. Make sure you fold it all the way out. Also, so when it goes up under the flash unit, you don't burn the waist. Because if any part of that elastic touches the light on that flash, you will scorch those pants. And these are a little too expensive to replace. So make sure everything is folded all the way out and everything is nice and flat. Right? Yeah. And I'm also feeling for any type of wrinkles. Okay, so we have a nice flat print. We have a print on a nice flat surface, I should say. And there's Fabio. What up, baby? All right. You see how Fabio's pulling that off. I don't know if you guys can see it. Now, I'm not even paying attention to him right now. Yeah. If you can see Fabio a little bit, you see he's not pulling from the bottom. He's pulling from the waist, from the top down. Okay? And just kind of letting his wrist do the work. He's not snatching the pants off of the pallet. All right? And now, due to the miracles of TV, we are at the end. All right? And now, another time saver. As the job is finishing, I take my pallets off. Okay? I don't wait till the job is done to take my pallets off. All right? And you see, I'm pushing it out and not pulling it towards me. That's just the easiest way to do this. And of course, the only arm you can't do it on is the arm with the tri-lock block on it. But that's okay. It's only one of them. All right? And you definitely want to be careful while you're doing this. But when you're in a rhythm, when you have a lot of experience, you can do this. Okay. And it wasn't a long run, so the pallets weren't very hot, right? Because those hot pallets, man, they'll take your fingertips off. Okay. And now we are setting up the hoodies that go with these sweatpants. Okay. And all of this was done, like I say, in that first hour of production. That very first hour of production, man. All right, you set a goal for yourself. You do what you have to do to meet that goal. Okay. On that tri-lock, see where my thumb is, boom, right in the middle. See where my thumb is, boom, right in the middle of the screen. And it's in the same place every single time. And when I do these videos, you guys are gonna hear me say the same thing over and over, because for some reason, printers like to do, I don't know, printers are goofy. Like they don't you want to create a system for yourself and do the exact same thing every single time. Okay, that's because, right, let's say that a problem does arise. Well, you know that you have a system and you do the same thing over and over and over. So you can go ahead and reverse engineer what you did and find what your mistake is, okay? It's called consistency, you know what I mean? So you guys are gonna hear these videos. Oh, you said that already, Yeah, because I have to drill it into your thick skull because you printers are too goofy, all right? And I'm gonna say something I'm gonna say again. Slow stroke, it's early in the morning, your ink is stiff, slow it down, and you can speed it up as the job goes, okay? All right, here we go, we're done with that test print. Okay, and we're going on a good one again. Sweatshirt is thicker than the test print, right? So we want to set up on that sweatshirt to make sure our print is the way we want it to look. And this is a massive left chest. I don't know why they had it's almost a full front just on the left side of the hoodie. Oh, it's kind of, I don't know, it's not for me. But I guess, you know, you're a law student. You got to let everybody know, oh, I'm a law student. Anyway, it's Automech. See you in the next one.